Right folks, so welcome back to another video. We are doing a review again today. I am trying to cover all the latest hatchbacks in this kind of next few videos and the few I've done so far. A lot of you guys are enjoying the kind of return to reviews to the channel. Of course, nowadays we do tend to have a lot of builds and we've got stuff like the R32 and the Volvo back there. All of that content will be coming up very soon. But yeah, today is going to be quite an interesting one because, as you know, the Audi S3 is a car that started off my channel essentially. So we're going to be reviewing the new one, the 8Y version. But yeah, without further ado, let's head over there, give you guys a little cinematic, and yeah, let's just get started. Right people, so here we go, Audi S3, all new version, the 8Y. I'll give you guys a walk around first and we'll take you for a drive on some country roads. This is still an MQB car, so it's based on the same platform as the old Audi S3 and obviously the Golfs and the usual stuff. This one is finished in Navara blue, quite a nice colour, it is an option extra. Brakes actually look very similar to the ones on the previous car, in fact they're the same caliper. I mean, in person the design is quite interesting, it's got a lot of creases and everything, like the arches are a bit more pronounced than the 8V. I mean, the previous S3 saloon used to come with 19-inch wheels standard. Now it seems the Sportback and saloon just come with 18s. But it might make the ride a bit better, so we'll leave that for when we go for a drive. Round the back, it is quite similar to the 8V, to be fair. This is where you can tell they've played it safe, but the old S3 wasn't exactly an ugly car, so I think it does look pretty nice. Got loads of typical modern car fake vents, nothing new there. 4 exhausts. This particular car has a standard LED headlights. You can get matrix when you can normally identify with these kind of strips all the way down. Yeah, I've got these slats across here which are like a throwback to the Audi S1 rally car. Interior, again, it's very kind of similar in fashion to the Mark 8 that I reviewed last week, but also just a bit more less confusing, let's say. The one complaint I had with my S3, and it's still kind of an issue with all 8V models, even the RS3 kind of suffers with it a bit, is the lack of standard equipment. I remember my S3 was quite a basic car. The only option it had was a virtual cockpit, but it was missing stuff like parking sensors and folding mirrors. But from what we can see here, I went on the configurator last night as well, we've got folding mirrors standard. Pretty sure we've got rear parking sensors as well. Yep, there we go. So these are kind of the things you do want on a car, especially in 2020 and 2021. It's the minimum you ask from a luxury car like this. The other nice touch as well is the standard seats. They've got quilted leather on them, fancy stitching. It's in a similar kind of stitching colour to my car as well. But if you remember, the RS3 and S3 in the 8V shape came with totally standard, like they look like seats out of a diesel, but here they've played it safe, giving us these nice ones with the integrated headrest. I'll show you guys the back as well, because I know some of you lot want to see a practicality side to the review. Decent legroom, and yeah, again, nice quilted pattern in the back too. The rest of the dashboard, they've gone for quite an angular design. Interestingly enough, they've kept the exact same steering wheel from the 8V. Like literally everything is exactly the same, even the paddle shifters. But to be fair, it is quite a nice steering wheel, so I suppose it's a case of if it's not broke, don't fix it. Down here is very similar to the Mark 8 in terms of it's got this, we still haven't worked out a name for it, it's not a gear lever, but yeah, get in the comments and let me know what we should call this. It's like a gear, I don't know, selector, let's just say selector for this video. Start stop button, you can get options like Bang & Olufsen, all that kind of stuff. Right, let's turn it on. Got 2 USB-C ports there as well, nice and modern for a change. So in terms of infotainment, you've got the virtual cockpit as you'd expect from an Audi. You got their own new system as well, which is different to the one I've got in my RS3. It's all touchscreen, but what's good is I've actually got physical AC buttons, which, trust me, the basic things you just want to have a button, which is what I didn't like about the Mark 8. It's all nice and usable, heated seats are right there. Rear screen here in the front, all nice and accessible. No touch screens up there. This bit here reminds me of a Lamborghini Urus, like the way it's got these vents up here. It is kind of like a nice driving zone. Lights are operated by buttons here, it seems, like the Mark 8 GTI that I drove the other day. No toggle switch, but yeah, smart interior overall. Right, so this is where things haven't changed too much. But let's have a look. I'm pretty sure this car has a hydraulic bonnet strut, unlike the Mark 8, but we'll find out now. If I can actually get it open. There we go. Oh look, a luxury now we've still got, which the Mark 8 Golf doesn't have. So yeah, EA AAA engine. It has actually got 310 PS, which if you're familiar with these engines, is actually the exact same power output that the 2017 S3 had, the one that I had. They did downgrade it when they went to the OPF variant, then they added the 10 PS back with this version. All in all, it is a great engine. Very tunable. At least I've gone to the extra effort of adding this red detail on the engine cover. 0 to 60 in the 4-second range, as you'd expect. 7-speed S-tronic box. But yeah, what we'll do, we'll get a start up now and see how it sounds like. Right, so I think that was a pretty comprehensive walk around. What we'll do now, we'll get the GoPros all set up. We'll take this thing for a drive on our usual familiar kind of country roads and basically just see how it compares to the previous S3. Just a quick reminder though, before we go ahead and take the S3 for a drive, make sure you are subscribed to the channel if you do enjoy watching content on these kind of hot hatchbacks and build series and a variety of stuff. Yeah, it'd be great to have you on board. But yeah, let's get started. Right folks, so here we are in the new S3. It's quite exciting, to be fair. I've always liked these cars. As you know, I had one for 2 years. Now I've got the RS3. I'll try and keep this review focused on the S3 though, because the engine in the RS3 totally changes the opinion on the car. I've got some impressions for you straight off the bat though. I'm just cruising in comfort. They've definitely improved the kind of comfiness in this car. I know it makes sense, we're in comfort mode, but by that I mean basically the seats in this thing, they're like you're sitting on a sofa. They definitely look quite big and they are quite fancy with the cross stitching, but generally they feel like, yeah, you feel like you sort of sink into them, which is nice. Yeah, I think that's the sort of advantage you will always get with the Audi equivalent of the VAG hatchback. But yeah, what we'll do, we'll get it into dynamic mode, which I have also just realized as well. You know this hotkey that you normally have on the steering wheel, the kind of star key, it can't be mapped to drive select anymore, which used to be a thing that you could do on the S3 before. I suspect the reason why they've taken it off the S3 now is on the new RS3 they're gonna have an RS button here. Bit of a cheeky one, but yeah, what you're gonna do is you're gonna go down here. I've got in dynamic, it's into S mode. I'm normally like used to putting the lever over to there, but there's nothing there. So what we'll do, we'll override it with the paddles. 7-speed S-tronic, 310 PS. Okay, not too bad. We've got a 5-cylinder-esque pumped noise in here. Oh, we got a little bang then. Now we've got horses here, excuse us for a second. Right, so as we were saying, I didn't want to interrupt those horses. We seem to get one in every video I film now, but in this case too. It has got a bit of an overrun, like, I never thought it would, but considering this car's got an OPF and all the late 19, 7.5Rs and those S3s, they kind of muted them. It seems these new generation cars are adding some of the character back. We noticed this with the Mark 8 GTI. The new Mark 8R has got all sorts of craziness going on, like especially with the acropovic exhaust. It doesn't even sound like it's got an OPF. Right, let's knock into second. Not too bad, not too bad. Feels, it doesn't feel anything like crazy compared to the old one. It doesn't feel like it's any quicker straight off the bat. We've definitely got a 5-cylinder noise being pumped in here, 100%. Interesting. It feels a bit more taut than my one did. Yeah, they seem to have. Okay, you know the old S3, the S3 Sportback that I had on a totally standard setup. Like this car, this is a totally standard S3 pretty much, apart from the paint. It used to feel a bit unsettled over your back roads. This car seems to be damped a bit better. I don't know if it's just they've taken that advice on board or because we're on 18-inch wheels, but then my car was on 18-inch wheels. Yeah, it definitely does kind of run out of steam at the top end, which is weird. That Mark 8 GTI with less power didn't feel like this. Good shove in mid-range, but I think, yeah, the chassis upgrades are a welcome addition. I do feel like they worked on it. My S3 wasn't like this, to be fair. It was a bit of a kind of, bit of a pudding, to be fair. It was quick though. I don't feel like this is any quicker. Right, let's try a launch. We've got no one behind us. Put it back into S. See how we can do. Foot on the brake. Oh, nice launch sound. Jeez, that gets going. It upshifted to second, which was strange. It got going though. am enjoying the added comfort though in the 8Y. It is cool, man. You're just sitting in this big armchair, cruising along. This gear lever here, it's so easy to use. I know it looks funny, but you know when you're doing like 3-point turns and stuff, it's nice, man. It is definitely nice. I haven't figured out how to get a central tachometer anymore. I feel like they've taken that out as well, compared to the old S3, which had a similar kind of center tack to the RS first gear. When you look at the speed it's climbing, I think the sensor speed is just low. I have read that these things do like to kick out a bit, so we'll try and keep on our toes. Yeah, you can make good cross-country pace. I think once you get a rhythm with it like this is when it really comes into its own. When you hop in it the first few minutes, you might not be too impressed. You'll think that, okay, where's everything? But you know, once you've taken it down a few lanes, you can definitely see the whole appeal of this car. They have added a bit of steering weight and dynamic, as you would expect. It's not unnecessary though, like it feels right. What I've noticed is some Audis are a bit overly light at the steering, so it's kind of a nice welcome addition. And a bit of lag there, but gets going. Can't really feel much, but you do know what's going on under the front wheels. Now the one topic I did want to cover on these cars is the pricing. As you will have saw, the new Mark 8R, the pricing for that got revealed, and it's been established that that car is £40,000 without any options, which did come as a bit of a shock. Now the reason why it's quite confusing is the S3 Sportback starts from £36,000. So it's weird, the Golf Mark 8R has now exceeded the S3 in terms of pricing, and also tech as well. They've added loads of crazy things, like you've got drift mode, you've actually got a bit more power in the Mark 8R. So I don't know what game Volkswagen Group is playing. Like, it feels to me like they've essentially made the Mark 8R as kind of a car that's in between this and the new RS3 that's coming, just judging from what's on paper, because this car seems to be very similar to the old S3. I mean, brakes are the same, power is the same, steering wheel is the same. The Mark 8R, they've changed the brakes, the power, the chassis upgrades, so I don't really know what's going on, to be fair. Now, the only drawback I can see from having such comfy seats is they don't actually hold you in that well. You're kind of just chilling in here, which is its own pleasure, I will admit. But I suppose it kind of just matches the whole nature of the car. It's just a quick kind of not overly sharp car. It's a good car, that's what it is. I like it. It's definitely my cup of tea. If you want something a bit more sharper, you probably have to look somewhere else, but I think this is more than enough for most people. Look, it just flows nicely through all of these bends. I would definitely choose this over something like an A35 for sure, because that's the kind of car it's pitched at, and especially over a new M135i. I'll take this any day. Fair play to Audi, man. May have taken away some features which I'm not too happy about, but you know what, they're kind of just playing a game here. They're leaving stuff for the RS. They're doing it on purpose. 5-cylinder pumped noise S3 is pretty good fun. But yeah folks, what I'm thinking to do, we'll end the video here. Hopefully you enjoyed my first impressions on the S3. I'll try and bring you guys a lot more of the new hatchbacks to review. I think I've got an A45S on the way, and I believe a 128 Ti. I do still need to sort out a GTI Club Sport. If any of you guys have got one, just drop me an email or Instagram DM. I'm up for doing reviews now here and there. They don't have to all be these kind of cars. If you got something interesting, give me a shout. Along with the build videos, I think that's the plan going forward. Make sure you dropped a like on the video if you did enjoy it. Subscribe to the channel for a lot more content to come. And yeah, take care guys.